Hello, welcome to another episode of The Other Side Show. I'm Potter. This episode is with Ninja Hoops, a fantastic acro hooping duo out of Oakland, California. We're really excited about this episode. Pal and I had a really good time shooting it. They're really good personal friends of ours, and we really hope you enjoy it. I want to quickly let you know about a few really exciting things we have coming up. We just filmed a lot of behind-the-scenes interviews with a lot of the artists who made up the performers at the recent San Francisco Fire Dancing Expo that's held in Union Square. We talked about it in our episode recently with Glitter Girl, so you can check out that and keep an eye out for that footage coming up. And we're also in the process of building out a studio, so hopefully our audio quality and just the whole production value is going to actually keep increasing. We appreciate your support so far. Let us know if you have any comments or suggestions, and hope you enjoy the episode. Talk to you guys soon.
Did I show you the podcast we're trying to do?
Kick his tripod on the way.
It's out of line. No, you guys are perfect.
Hooray!
There you go. Sweet. Hello. It's The Other Side Show. We're here with Zach and Marria from Ninja Hoops.
What's up?
Hey, thank you for being on our show.
How's it going, guys?
Thanks for having us.
Wonderful, wonderful. So, tell them, what's Ninja Hoops?
We are Ninja Hoops. We are an acrobatic hula hooping duo. We're based in Oakland, California. We travel all over and we teach people hula hooping and acrobatics. And we perform awesomely.
Yeah.
I can vouch for that.
Yeah.
So, why hula hooping? How did you guys come to hula hooping?
Well, the story is pretty long, but it was 8 years ago that I was given my first big hula hoop, and I was at the Firefly Festival in Vermont in 2005. And I went in the woods and I practiced for a while, and I wanted to get really good. I was like, yeah, right, I got it. And then a few of us practiced together on the Cambridge Common in Boston, and we formed the Boston Hoop Troupe. And it was just a loose gathering of people who all hooped together. And then people started noticing that we were getting better, and they were like, can you teach me? Well, yeah, sure. I had never taught anything before, but I started Boston's first hoop classes at the dance complex in Cambridge. And a lot of people came. A lot of people wanted to learn. People our age, like middle-aged moms, men, dads, all kinds of people came. And Boston was all about it. They were like, yeah. And then I joined the Grasshopper Collective, which was a fire spinning troupe in Boston. And that's where me and Zach met. So that was maybe in 2010, around that time.
Yeah. And I wasn't spinning hoops until I met Marria, but she was like the Mac Daddy Hooper in Boston. And I figured that if I wanted to be a bigger part of the spin world and get to know this cool lady who hula hoops, I should probably get my spin on. So I started taking classes from Marria in Boston. And then when we came out here, we were getting ready to teach our first workshop, which was acro hooping. And we were making a video, and I sort of humorously put ninja hoops at the end of it because I thought it was cool, and we had like a cool video. And it sort of caught on. We started getting offers to teach our workshop, so ninja hoops kind of stuck with us from then. Yeah.
Cool. When I met you, you weren't hooping much at all. When I first met you, you were mostly spinning, even though maybe 2011 or something, you were just mostly spinning staff. I know when we talked, your staff work pretty clearly shows you have a martial arts background, and I think it's a little bit more evident, or a little bit evident with the hoop, but not as much as with some of the other stuff that I've seen you spin. Do you think the martial arts background that you have really kind of helps with the hoop stuff?
Yeah, so I didn't really spin anything until we joined the Grasshopper Collective out in Boston, but I'd done martial arts and dance a lot of my life, and so spinning a thing in an abstract sort of concept I was like, okay, I can spin this and not hit myself with it, and start from there. And so I started with things I knew, like the sword, which I did a lot of, and the staff, which are very martial arts based. But then the principles cross over from hoop to staff, or staff to hoop pretty easily. And so when I started learning to hoop, I think all my martial arts came into play very quickly. And the discipline from in martial arts that you learn to just like try to do something and strive for perfection is great for learning any movement. You know.
My hooping came more from a dance background. I did a lot of yoga, and I did fencing when I was younger. That's really
interesting.
That's the first time
Yeah.
I can remember being conscious in my body and being like, "Ooh, I can do cool things with my body." It was fencing back
cool.
in high school. Turns out Zach was a fencer too.
I fenced in college, and yeah, it was great. We should fence sometime.
We should.
I was just about to say, that's
Right, yeah.
fascinating. Why isn't
Right.
there like a ninja swords thing going on? Why are you guys
know.
doing
We have
fake
swords.
stage battles?
We would
Come
love
on.
to go fencing. If anyone knows of a place to go fence in the Bay Area, let us know.
But yeah, so I had more of a dance thing going with it. And at the time, hooping was still very on-body, dancey, you know, fire spinning. I did a lot of performance with the Boston Hoop Troupe, synchronized movement with people, but the tech world hadn't really come into the hoop world yet. Those two hadn't fused. And people hadn't really looked to other disciplines yet. So when I met Zach and I gave him a hoop, he was holding it and doing things with it that I hadn't seen before. It was very like masculine, very strong and warrior-like and ninja.
Nice expression. It's the first time you've heard that?
And then he...
Masculine.
I remember a few months later he was like, "I still can't waist hoop very good."
It's all a con. I still can't waist hoop very good.
That's the hardest hoop trick I've ever done.
Absolutely. Waist hooping and chest hooping are definitely the hardest beginner tricks of almost any skill toy. Like, it's incredible that we have people do that right away. First day, oh yeah, no problem.
So you said Zach came to it, you know, had different techniques than a lot of people. Were you thinking about the hoop in relation to other props that you have worked with, or did you have any kind of inspirations?
Well, I mean, you gotta play to your strengths, you know what I mean? So I can't hula hoop, but I can do other stuff, and so you start to try to figure out how to do what you know with the new context. So whether it's like you're doing some kind of dance move in a different kind of music, or if you're used to holding one object but now you're holding another, so you try and connect them, you try and plug what you can in, and since I knew things that were really different, I found things that were really different. There are a bunch of moves that we happened upon that I feel like I discovered because I was trying to do another move that I could not do. I was absolutely not skillful enough, but I wanted to fake it and pretend I could do that move. And so I came up with another way to look like that. And that's also a good way to find new things.
Also, a huge part of our transition into our newer style was on our move out here, and when we started training at the athletic playground. So we saw a huge increase in the amount of disciplines that were available. We took so many classes. We tried everything. Handstands and flips and acro yoga and...
Try to completely broaden your horizons.
Yeah, we were like, we put our hoops down for a little while. We did all the stuff. We picked them back up again. And then, of course, we were like, oh, we gotta try this with a hoop. Like, whatever it was like, we've got to.
And the hoop is funny because you can put it on so many body parts. It kind of begs for that question. It's like, oh, you can do that. Can you do it with a hula hoop somewhere? Oh, you can do that. Can you do it with a hula hoop? And we're learning so many cool, like, moves that we were trying everything. There's an early video of me hanging from a trapeze, hula hooping from my waist.
That is really hard. I'm trying to do it.
There's also one where I'm hanging upside down by my knees, and it's, you know, why? Because I have a trapeze available, and I want to try it. Like, there's all kinds of ideas that come up just because you see the things in front of you, and you just want to put them together.
A lot of the things we came up with were really cool, and we hadn't really seen them before. Some of the things, like the trapeze, were not as cool, but still awesome, you know, that...
I thought that was pretty cool.
As long as you
That's
enjoy
fine.
it.
It's not in the act, but it's fine.
So what other inspirations were there in terms of developing this pretty unique style that you guys have? Any people or acts that were particularly helpful?
Well, I did some capoeira right before I started hooping. That was the martial art I did right before I picked up spinning in general. And that's influenced me a lot. Capoeira is a Brazilian martial art where you always do it with a partner. It's really game-based, although it can be very effective as self-defense. The way it's practiced is very fun and friendly, and you sing songs and you play a game together that's like a fight, and that's how you improve. You sort of collaborate to make the coolest scene you can. And there's a lot of inversion and acrobatics and handstands and capoeira. And so I think that definitely got me on the road towards what we've been doing now. I still like capoeira a lot, and I take it everywhere I go. Lots of people play, even just a little bit. So yeah. And yeah, inspirations? Do you want like...
Let's see, well, I would say that when we moved out here, I mean, we went from having this small group of friends in Boston. We knew everyone in Boston. It was a very tight family, but we got out here, and it just, the universe of spinning amplified and exponentially. And all of a sudden it was like, there's the Vulcan. Like, let's go to the Vulcan and hang out with our friends there. And they're doing tech, and they're juggling, and they're showing us isolations we've never seen that are blowing our mind. And so we took some stuff from them. And then we've got, you know, people like our friends in San Francisco, or at the Flow Space, you know, there's travelers coming through. There's just a lot of cross-pollination of people from all over. So that, plus watching all these videos of all these...
I'm a YouTube junkie. I watch all your videos, everybody's videos. I watched your video. I did.
If you're currently watching, you guys watched your video before.
If you're wondering if I watched your video, I watched it. I at least watched the first minute and a half. If it's really long, I didn't watch the end. I'm sorry. I watched all the videos. But I really like that we exist in this culture that's fast developing and in real time. Like, somebody comes up with something and you see it that afternoon. They floated it that morning, and they posted that afternoon, and you've never met them, but you can see what they're thinking, and I am all about that. So, and especially early on when I was just learning and didn't know any moves, I was all up on the YouTubes because I didn't know what was what. You know, I'm trying to have a conversation about hula hooping with my body, and I don't know any of the words, you know, so I tried to learn as many words as I can. It's like if you're learning a foreign language watching TV. You watch it all, you bathe in it, you take it all in until you sort of mush it together in your own mind.
Until you make it.
Yeah, exactly. It works great.
Yeah, that's a thread that we have encountered with a lot of people that we talk to. And a lot of these arts, poi, hula hooping, a lot of the stuff that tends to be categorized as flow arts, relatively new arts, and have really in the past 4 years or so seen a massive explosion. I think mostly because of YouTube. People like being able to put tutorials up, share videos, share information.
This is something we're seeing all over right now. I also teach parkour along with acrobatics, and parkour it's in a similar place to spinning. I think breakdance is doing a similar thing, but they're a little more advanced in age. You know, they've been around a little longer. Tricking, martial arts tricking, which is a new kind of acrobatics. Like, these are things that, they're really new arts, they're really interesting conceptual movement arts, and the way they exist, the way they've been able to take off in terms of the level of skill is, it's not even competition, but there's this mass collaboration going on, that so much is put out on the internet, and so quickly information is transmitted from one mind to another, that we've cut out a lot of the legwork. In movement, you used to have to go to see the show, or they would write down what the movement looked like and put it on a piece of paper and go, here, perform this in another country. And you'd be like, all right. Like, there had to be vocabulary. We don't need to necessarily even name all the moves now, because the video stands for itself. This is the thing. It is this. No name move number 5. Like, and yeah, in parkour, it's been really interesting to watch this happen too, because I'm not as thoroughly involved as I am in the flow arts. So I see it from the outside. I watch all the YouTube videos, and I watch moves come into fashion and go out of fashion, and clothing styles go into fashion and come out of fashion, and attitudes and people, like, it. And it's good to remember in watching that that's what's happening to us too, that there are definite waves going on in our own community, and we have to ride them out.
And video has helped us actually see what we're doing too, because we'll record just a lot of our practices and training, and later we'll look at it, and it's like having a mirror, but you know, it's having a recording of
having a permanent mirror.
Having a permanent mirror, and you look back and go, whoa, what was that? That was amazing. Let's try to recreate that tomorrow. So not only are we sharing what we've learned with everyone else, we're sharing it with ourselves. We're able to reflect on what we're doing and bounce it off each other.
Mm-hmm.
And it's really nice having a partner to bounce things off too. Is this cool? Check it out.
I ask that question all the time. Is this cool?
No, I saw that before I actually did that.
Did we do this move already?
We taught
I can't
that in our
remember this
workshop
move.
last summer, actually.
Oh,
But, that's awesome! To do that again! Do it backwards. Do it twice.
I love that.
Do you guys, do you
I
guys
guess
find
that's
there's
cool.
do you guys find there's a particular way that you learn? Either like one of you will learn something forwards and the other one will learn something backwards, or one of you will learn something with your right hand, the other with the left.
I have lots of ideas. They're not always good. Maybe they're not always possible. But I have lots of ideas, and I can, like, do a thing right away. But that doesn't always make it work for anyone else, or even for me. I can be like, I did this thing, but I don't know what happened. Marria's been hooping for so long that there's few hoop moves that she can't just do, even in description. I can be like, I have this idea. I want it to be like, we're going to use part of a neck wrap, but then we're going to turn, and there's going to be like a piece of a barrel roll, and she'll be kind of like this. I'll be like, yeah, but put your other arm out and step your left foot around. And she'll be like this. I'll be like, yes, like that. And then by seeing her do it, once I see a move, I can pretty much do it. So then by having her able to do the move, then I can do it. And we sort of teach it back and forth.
I have a lot of questions, too. I'll often be like, all right, I know this sounds crazy, but Zach, can you figure out how to enter with your left foot going backwards and then jump through the, is that possible? And, like, he also figures it out.
Yeah. We do a lot of back and forth. We challenge each other. We use each other's strengths. Like, I feel like it's very technical. I'm like a technician. Not even, like, technical, but, like there are parts, and I screw them together to make a machine. Like, so if we have a little bit of this and a little bit of that, it's like, oh, could we make the machine do this? Could we put these parts together in this order? Could we go in through head first and do half a turn in the middle and exit head first? Sure, sure, I'm an engineer, like, I can try and make it work, and so I enjoy that part a lot.
Sure, I'm an engineer. I like that,
Scientist.
yeah.
It's not a problem, it's a challenge.
Laboratory, yeah.
So what are the bad parts of being on a team? It sounds really adorable, but like,
we have to agree on everything.
Problems, right?
I mean, we agree on everything generally, but, like, you got to agree on everything. If you do an act as a duo, you can't just do whatever. Oh, okay, then I'm going to do something, then you're going to do something. Mm-hmm. When we have an act, every count in that act is something we've choreographed, because otherwise you're just standing in the wind. When we teach, it's the same. Like, we know every piece of material, almost every sentence that we're going to teach. Every thought along the way has been thought out and practiced, and you're going to say this part, and I'm going to say this part. Because otherwise it's chaos up there. Like,
we're starting to recognize our roles in Ninja Hoops more and more. Like, there were more problems earlier on when it was unclear. But, like, certain things, he'll be like, you're in charge of the act. You're in charge of making us rehearse the act. Like, pick what's going to be in the act. And then he'll be like, I'm in charge of, the new workshop moves or, like, writing things. And I'm like, I'm making the Facebook invites or whatever. Like, we've figured out which things we're really better at. And now it's more clear and we're not, like, expecting something from each other.
We have more clear expectations of what the other person is able to do. Not just willing, but, like, we're all actual humans. Like, it would be great if we were, like, all the best at being organized and returning emails and keeping our calendar and rehearsing hoop move. That would be awesome. But we're dealing with real factors, and so having a real understanding of what we're capable of helps a lot, because then we know.
Yeah, we've had to practice teaching together a lot. Mm-hmm. It isn't easy right away to teach with someone. And there were certainly times where it was like, dude, you didn't shut up, you talked the whole time. Like, like, whatever. Like, we'll both say that. But then we learn from it. We're like, okay, like, what are the cues that we can have to help each other out in those moments? And just like we practice hooping and we all practice movement arts, if you practice, you get better at it.
Mm-hmm. And teaching is really, we consider it its own art, separate from, but equal in standing to the movement itself. Like, it's nice that we can hula hoop well, but we work a lot on our art that is teaching. The performance art of making another person understand your ideas and being able to execute them in their own life, be it movement or another way. And that's hard. Like, that art is self-expression. We're trying to express our ideas in a way that people understand and can use immediately. And that takes practice, that takes discipline, that takes, like, a lot of hours, that takes messing up. It takes being not afraid to mess up even a little bit and like do things with the class sometimes that you're like, this might be a little crazy, but we're gonna go for it. In that way, I think we're really privileged. We have ongoing classes. We both teach movement arts almost every day, kids and adults, and it gives us a lot of time to sharpen our skills. It's hard to, like, you can be in the bedroom and hula hoop. You can't, like, teach solo. You need students to teach. You need people to participate. And so we've been gifted a bunch of people. At first, children we were inflicted upon children, or they were inflicted upon us. But like it was happening. You guys are going to learn from these people, no matter what. And so when you're in a real situation, you got to rise to it or fail. Like so, we taught kids and we taught adults, and now we teach all the time.
So much.
I'm not, I could teach a bunch of mongooses how to speak Portuguese. Like, it would be fine. For an hour, I could teach anything.
So at the end of the podcast, we're going to have a video of Zach teaching a bunch of mongooses Portuguese.
Watch for our new tutorial. How to teach your mongoose Portuguese. Ninja Hoops tutorial.
So you both teach a lot locally. Do you teach as Ninja Hoops locally?
We will be teaching...
Yes.
A workshop in April. We teach maybe a few times a year. See, this is what I do in the
We were talking about the skills.
So Ninja Hoops will be teaching a few local hoop workshops, but year round we teach hoop classes together sometimes, but a lot of separate stuff too. I teach a hula hooping class, and he teaches acrobatics.
I teach acrobatics, and I run a kids parkour program.
I teach little kid parkour. He teaches big kid parkour. We teach all these different things. So. Ninja Hoops, Vegetable Circus, kind of have a lot of different balls in the air.
Tell us what's Vegetable Circus.
No, we can't talk about it.
Can't talk about
No,
Vegetable
we're
Circus.
in the middle of a whole branding thing right now. We can't talk about it.
Cool.
All right, yeah. It's annoying. I wish we could, but next week.
We can make it another one.
Yeah, let's make it a different video.
Yeah, that's
actually,
a whole nother video.
Yeah.
That's great.
So where do you guys teach regularly?
We teach at the athletic playground. Is our main spot. It's where we train. It's where we hang out and where we teach all the time. Marria teaches hooping twice a week. I teach acrobatics 3 times. It's backflip month for anybody out there who wants to learn a backflip at the athletic playground. We are teaching backflips all month. There are workshops. There's classes and it's my favorite job. I get to teach adults how to be ninjas.
We teach the summer program there. We basically run a little kid ninja camp.
Yeah.
It's pretty awesome.
It's pretty awesome.
They learn all these different skills. We teach at Kinetic Arts. We teach at some schools.
Public schools, private schools?
Public schools,
private schools. We work for a couple different programs. I mean, at this point, movement instruction is probably our main job, and so we'll teach almost anybody who's willing to learn most anything. We're ready to go.
Anything they could possibly...
We've taught juggling and poi and partner acrobatics and handstand,
tumbling, gymnastics, clowning.
Yeah, we've
Aerials.
subbed classes. Yeah, we've taught aerials in a pinch. I taught acro yoga one time. Sure,
Circus.
Portuguese to mongooses. Just random things.
Whatever the job entails, really.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we have hula hoop. We'll teach.
So you've done a couple of tours, workshop tours going around.
This is number 3 coming up, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. When you leave for that one?
May.
Yep, we leave in May. We're doing a domestic tour across the U.S. We're doing Spin Summit, Hoop Convergence for the 6th year in a row.
Wait, my 2nd year in a row.
All right.
Maria's 6th year in a row.
I'm OG, all right? And then
fire drums.
And then fire drums. So
We love
we're
the fire drums.
Fire drums this
Yes,
year?
we are teaching 2 workshops at Fire Drums. We are teaching the new hula hoop workshop, Ninja Sessions, Shapeshifters, and
Nice.
acro spinning, acrobatics for all the props for everyone, always.
Yeah, and we're doing
Is
a
that
lot
the
of
full
these
title?
same workshops
the
at the
title.
other
The
places.
abbreviated title.
It continues. Oh man.
So
Yes.
yeah, you're doing US in May, and then June we're going to the UK. We're going to England, Ireland, Scotland, And then we're going to France in June. We're going to the EJC at the end of July. We're going to the German HoopCon in August.
How do you say hello in German?
We haven't started
Cameraman?
yet.
Guten Tag.
Guten Tag, Germany, hoopers. We will
can't
see
wait
you
to meet
soon.
The first 2 tours that we did were just domestic, so this will be the first time across the pond for Ninja Hoops.
Nice.
Exciting.
Awesome.
We're excited. We're really excited to go to EJC, see what the rest of Europe is up to as far as the juggling and movement world goes, hoping to get some more influences.
You guys gonna go juggle hoops?
Juggle
Sure.
hoops? Yeah. I want to go see some of those suits of arms and armors they have all over Europe. I hear they have very good exhibits of old wartimey things from, you know, back in the day.
From the Renaissance?
Yeah, Renaissance, you know, and the Middle Ages and stuff. I hear there are halls and halls of suits and armor. I'd like to go see one of these halls and halls. I'd prefer it to be, like, very long.
The more echoey, the better.
Yes, that would be great. Maybe a hearth. I don't know what a hearth is, but I'd like one
It's a
to
big
be
fireplace.
in my long...
If you have any suggestions for where Zach can see some really cool suits of armor,
That would be
send
great.
us a
Just-
message
Or places to
You can
sleep
email
in
me and I'll
Europe.
get
Either
them,
of
yeah.
those things.
Yeah, here's the
Or
thing.
couches, yeah.
We're piecing it together. Like, we're just like praying and hoping it all, you know.
So if you want
That's
Ninja
a lot.
Hoops to sleep on your couch, post a comment below.
We will sleep on your couch.
But make sure it doesn't float away.
Yeah.
I'll hold it down.
It's exciting.
So if they, for the domestic or international tour, if people still want to set up a workshop somewhere, is there still time?
There are weekends available. Some. Please email us. We travel all year. We're happy to come to your city. We love coming to people's cities and meeting new people and new places. I'm looking forward to going to Montana, maybe, which would be cool. I've never been to Montana. I'm psyched. So, like, let's go.
We'll go
I'm
anywhere.
excited about a maybe.
Yeah, dude. I'm maybe going to somewhere on the earth I've never been. I'm ready. Let's go.
Cool. Well, their contact info is going to be somewhere. Send them an email. Really great workshops.
Oh yeah, we have that new tutorial. We have a butterfly tutorial. You guys can check it out. Learn to be a ninja too. Watch out.
Other links.
Yeah, we teach acro hooping, so we teach acrobatic hula hooping. That was our first tour. The second tour we introduced ninja sessions, which is martial arts inspired hoop moves and isolations and forms. And this year we're teaching on a similar vein to that, but not the acro. I talked to someone today who was like, do you only teach acro hoop? And I said, no, like, our stuff is accessible to all kinds of people, all levels, so I think it's important to know.
Wonderful.
Good range of interests and styles.
Another question I had for you is, there's a pretty consistent dichotomy or something with performers where the moves that really feel good to them or are really impressive to the performer doesn't convey the same to the audience. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Is there anything that you guys have had to play around with in your act, like, that you might have thought would have gone over well and didn't, that you pulled back or tweaked or something?
It's one of the reasons it's nice to have a buddy. My first test of all my new moves are Marria, and vice versa, you know, like, is this cool? Is this worth practicing 1,000,000 times to perfect, or is this just kind of some thing, you know? And you can have someone be like, that looks really hard, but you know, there's some things that don't have a lot of bang for your buck, especially when building the act. Like, if you get 2 people to agree that this second of time in choreography is worthwhile, it's a lot more likely to be interesting to people. But when you're on your own, it's hard to gain perspective.
Yeah, I think we both picked out some of our favorite moves or our favorite sequences and shared them with each other, and that became the groundwork for the act. But yeah, our act is full of a lot of moves that feel pretty good, and they're big moves, a lot of them, you know, and I think they come off that way too, in most cases.
Yeah, I think so too. I'm not sure if I've seen every iteration of it or anything.
Yeah.
So, you don't think there's nothing that you've whittled out because it didn't feel right once it got to the act? You were pretty much comfortable with it.
Yeah, we've changed the end a little bit over time, just as we've become better acrobats. We've been like, we could do something a little more punch-in for the end of our act. But it stayed pretty the same since we stopped changing it. You know what I mean? Because there is a point, too, with your act that you can change it forever, but at a certain point you should just stop and polish it and make a new act that is different, and then you'll have 2 acts. Because that act's never going to be perfect. That's not how it works. Like, better the act from 2 years ago that's all shiny and, like, you could do it while you're asleep and it's still perfect, and you'll never hit yourself or drop your prop, and you'll never forget your choreography. Because most, people haven't seen your thing, whatever it is. Like, most people want to see the best you can be, the most polished version. And then work on your new act and obsess on that and change it, then be like, alright, it's done! And that's the new act. Like,
So you just have one Ninja Hoop act right now?
right now, number 2 is in the works.
ETA?
Hopefully it'll be, we're performing this summer, so hopefully this summer it should be coming along.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It'll be a work in progress.
I have an idea, but I can't explain it now.
It's better to save it for when it's off camera, too. You don't want to give everyone else in the world your idea.
That's a good point.
You got any more questions, man? I think we're pretty good. We covered a lot of really good ground.
Seems pretty good to me. I guess there was one more thing that kind of stood out. How do you guys go about coming up with a routine, like building it from the ground up? Because I know that's a very different process for, different individuals as well as different groups of people.
Well, I'm a huge baby and hate working on stuff when we have to work on it. So that's a big problem. I bet that's one of Marria's biggest challenges. So we were sort of putting it off for a little while, and then at hoop camp, it was... We could tell the story, right?
Sure.
Yeah, go ahead.
Philo asked us. Philo is the editor of hooping.org. And he was like, are you guys going to perform in the showcase? And we were like, no, I don't think so. He's like, why not? You should. And we're like, well, we're not really ready to do it. And he's like, you're Ninja Hoops, perform in the show. Like,
and then he turns, we're in the dinner line, he turns to like the 7 girls next to us. He's like, hey, you guys, I heard Ninja Hoops is going to be in the show. Isn't that exciting? They're like, yeah! And he's like, great, you're doing it.
We're like...
Show's at 7:30. We're like, okay, we're going to go make up an act now. That was 2 hoop camps ago, something like that.
Yeah.
And so that was the seed of it, is like, it was sort of on deadline. We made something. And people really liked that. And we were like, well, if people like that, what if we were to practice and, like, eliminate all the nonsense and add in awesome stuff in where there was just, like, improv? We took that out and added, like, well-polished material.
I think the first thing we did was chose the track, having the music. We use this track by Odgebox. We really like this artist. He's from the UK. And the music, it goes up and down. It's
Changes
like
a lot.
Yeah, there's a lot of changes. And then there's moments that are exceptionally just bigger and more fun. And then there's like moments of stillness. So we sort of inserted the moves that we knew were just our best,
A lot of people like to build their act around music, but electronic music is very in right now. And a lot of electronic music doesn't have a lot of changes, or if it does, it has 2 levels. It's here, and it's here, and it's here, and it's here, and you really... 3 minutes is a long time, as we learned from YouTube. Like, if you're going to have a 3-minute act, it needs to have at least 3 different parts to it, and it's a lot to get into a single song. So it's good to look for a song with, like, a lot of things happening at different times, or making your own mix of something.
And I think we're both pretty good at, like, hearing things, and we both visualize imagery when we hear things. So, like, whether we're visualizing, like, ninja kind of movements, or we're creeping around, or, like, all of a sudden the music gets wacky and silly, and we start to be like, let's mess with each other during this part of the song, like, for whatever reason. So the music definitely inspires us to move.
Yeah. And then I don't know, it was fun. We went through this moment for a little while. We were like, well, what are our coolest moves? And we, like, wrote them all on a whiteboard, and then we put them in vague orders and tried to do them, and then put them in different orders. We were like, all right, we're definitely keeping this, and this is way too hard. We're never doing this move again. And we, from there, again, I feel like a machinist. We have these pieces, and we can start, now, okay, we want a section where we do isolations, and we want a section that ends with this flip. We want a section where there's twins. Okay, how are we going to get you both hoops? And like, we continue, we sort of know what the end is going to be like, and then we continue to ask questions, and by answering those questions, we fill in all of the holes. Like,
and I think we like really believe that character is important, and like being playful and having fun and showing the audience that we're having fun as well. We don't need to take things too seriously, so we laugh, we play, we joke, we try to bring, you know, be like, we mess with each other all the time in real life. Like, let's just show people that that's what we do, that we're like, that our act is really just a glimpse into our world. Like, it's Zach going, hey, look at my move, and I'm like, oh, sweet, let me look at my moves, and then we're like just playing with each other the whole time, and one-upping each other, but then also finding a harmony together, like being like, if we combine our forces, it'll be really awesome. So, and in the hooping too high.
Cool. Well, yeah, I think that was about it for me then.
Yeah, I think we're pretty good. Thank you guys so much for doing this.
Thank you guys for having us.
Really good. Yeah, I hope you all enjoyed it. Book them. Come out and take a workshop if you can.
Come learn with us.
We'd love to teach you.
Yeah, we would.
We really, really love teaching. Like, I don't think we could stop if we wanted to.
I agree. So yeah, come learn from us. We'll see you.
I can definitely say that I wouldn't have picked up a hoop if it wasn't for either one of these two. I probably wouldn't own a hoop if it wasn't for Marria either. So.
I'm seeing a bunch of ninja hoop little clones all over the place now. I'm seeing people that are doing these ninja hoop like portals and stuff. I'm like, oh, okay. Took one of their workshops or something. Okay.
I'm waiting to see the rising sun somewhere. I'm sure I'll see it this year, going back through some of these cities.
I'm actually working on I want you to show me again later on how it works, but I was actually working on a tracing move with Poi earlier today that's kind of a similar concept.
Cool, yeah.
So.
And then in reverse.
Yeah. Maybe you'll see it in one of my next videos.
Yeah!
Or one of the next Vulcan tech videos.
The morning that you do it.
The morning I do it, exactly.
Zach's on there, he's got
Dude, I'm up on all your feeds. It's research.
Subscribe to Ninja Hoops.
Oh yeah, we have feeds too.
Ninja Hoops. Post the link right here.
Well, yep.
It's right there.
We'll point to all the different
Join
places.
our Facebook page,
Facebook
website.
page.
This is Winston.
Winston and his friend Prey.
And his friend Dinner.
Oh, that's pretty good. All right.
Good. Bye.
Cool. Bye.
Guys.
We're all good?
All right.
1, 2, 3.
What's just happened?
Al took a run like this way into his heel kick and ran right into my elbow. We have it on video though. We can watch it.